What if your loved one dies and you have children and then you are left with your children? What happens to people when they lose their loved one when they are married or not married and the person dies all of a sudden? Or maybe they don't die but then they break up, or a husband cheats on his wife and then they have to break up. What happens then is that the wife will go into, or maybe the husband will go into depression, most likely, or fury and anger, and then they will do very nasty stuff to the partner or to the ex-partner. Or when the person has died, then most likely the partner that is left behind will go into a deep depression and crying day and night, and not wanting to stand up and not wanting to take care of the children anymore because they don't see the point, because the partner has left. The partner as the reason for living for this being, because they were in love. Now, this is seen as normal within society, and it's even supported, this kind of behavior, because it's seen as abnormal if you don't react emotionally when someone dies. When your partner dies or something, then it's expected of you that you become depressed, and then that you react very emotionally, and that you show to the world just how much you miss that person. However, when we're not really looking at the common sense of the situation, like when you have children, especially as beings who are completely dependent on you, and when you go into severe depression, you're actually spiraling down your own selfish emotions as the energy that you feel within yourself, where your thoughts take you down, all the way down, and you just feel, your body feels completely like heavy, and you just cannot move yourself anymore because you just feel so depressed and you don't know what to do. And then your children are there, and then most likely you will become angry and frustrated a lot more often, because now you're alone to take care of them, and you don't want them to bother you because you want to be left alone with your depression and with your thoughts and with your sadness. You want to wallow in that sadness, because in a twisted way it makes you feel special. The sadness and the depression, it makes you feel as if you are alive and as if you are someone, because now this is just a reaction to the love that you had and the happiness that you had felt with your partner, and now that that partner is gone, you have to react, because if you don't react, then you as an ego cannot survive anymore, because the ego is only reactions. So you have to wallow in your depression, because if you don't, you won't feel alive and you won't feel as though you actually exist in this world. But within the depression, you will go and neglect your children, and you will not even notice that your children are there, as if it's normal, as if that's okay to do that. And your environment, as your friends, will most likely support you in your depression, because it's apparently normal to become depressed when you've lost your partner, and even your environment will induce that depression within yourself, within the way that they treat you, expecting you to go into depression. But actually, that kind of behavior is not normal. That kind of emotions in itself, as energy that exists within each individual, as within us adults, is just not normal, because because it's a very private, personal reality, and especially when you have kids, when you have children as beings who are completely dependent on you, who are with you the whole time, and you have to pay attention every single moment, then it's actually unacceptable to become emotional or to even have thoughts, because thoughts is a personal, private reality, especially when it comes to fantasies and imagination and thoughts of jealousy and blame and thoughts about your childhood, your past, about other people, judgment, stuff like that. That's just very individual, personal stuff that you run around with inside your head the entire day, and that cause you to not really notice the beings around you, such as your children. And then obviously children require lots of care, and so when they become when they start asking questions and they start going, mommy, mommy, can you put my jacket on, I want to go to the playground and I want to do this, and why can't you help me, and mommy, then you will most likely become very angry very easily, or frustrated easily with your children because they are being a pain in the ass when they're not really being a pain in the ass. You're just too caught up with your personal shit in your head and your personal energy inside yourself that you don't really want to pay attention to your children. You don't really, that's, the whole word in itself, even paying attention, implicates that and implies that you have to pay something to your children. You have to pay attention as if it's not something natural. That obviously it's common sense that you have to basically have your eye on your children 24/7 and be with your children 24/7 with your entire being, and not just being with your children but then in your head being somewhere else in your head, in some secret love affair within yourself, in imagination or in thoughts, in relationships, etc. So this is not common sense, and that's actually something that has to change in human beings, because it's not acceptable, and we have to learn as parents to stand completely here within oneness and equality with our children, wherein we are with our children when we are with our children. And then when we are with our partner, we can be with our partner completely, but it's just unacceptable to have to pay attention to your child. You shouldn't have to pay anything. It should be a natural, normal fact that you are with your children, and in a way you are your children, and you can stand within their shoes. You can place yourself within their shoes, and within that you can see what is required to be done and what the child actually needs, and you will not be frustrated and you will not get angry anymore, because you will simply see as them in oneness and equality with them. So they won't be disturbing you anymore within your personal, private little reality within yourself. They won't be a nuisance anymore or disruptive anymore, because you'll just be clear. No more secret, hidden realities within yourself. Okay, so support around this can be found on the Desteni website. So investigate Desteni.